Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sabrina and I'm back with another Excel tutorial for you. Now, if this is your first time here and you're looking to develop your Excel skills, then start now by subscribing and hitting that bell icon so that you don't miss out on any new updates. Okay, so let's get started. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can create column charts and bar charts using your data in Excel. So if you look at my spreadsheet here, you can see that I've got a table of data with different food categories. Okay, and for each food category, I've got the revenue earned in 2021 and in 2022. So I basically want to present this information in a form of chart where both values for both years can be compared visually. Okay, so we can use a column chart or a bar chart to do that. So what you would do is you would, of course, first select your data. So remember, you want to select your headings as well, okay, for the charts. So you would select your whole data. You would then go up to the Insert tab. So I'm just going to click on Insert, and then you would go to the Charts group. Okay, now if you look at the top there, you'll see a column chart image. Okay, so if you click on the drop-down arrow on the right of the column chart, you'll get some options available. So you've got a 2D column, a 3D column as well. So if you hover your mouse over these examples, you'll see a preview of that chart on your spreadsheet with your data. Okay, so that's a 3D column chart. This one is a 2D one. Okay, so it's just a simple 2D column chart. This is a 2D bar chart. And then the one right at the bottom is a 3D bar chart. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and click on more column charts options. Okay, so on the left, you'll see a list of all of the charts available in Excel. And the third one in there is column. Okay, it's actually the first one because the first two options are just recent and templates. So the first option is column, and then you'll get all of your different column charts, different examples of column charts at the top, and a preview of each one at the bottom. Okay, so if you look at this one, for example, this is called a clustered column chart. Okay, so if I hover my mouse over it, it gives you a zoomed in preview of a clustered column chart. So you can see it's basically for each category, there are two bars. Okay, each bar represents a different year. So the blue bar represents 2021 revenue and the orange one represents 2022. Okay. If you go for the next option, this is called a stacked column chart. So if you hover your mouse over that one, you'll see that the difference here is that for each category, okay, instead of having two bars, both of those bars are stacked on top of each other. Okay, so the first bar that you'll see at the bottom are the blue bars, which is for 2021 revenue. And then the orange bars, which represents 2022 revenue, are stacked on top of the blue bars. Okay, so that's the difference between a clustered column chart and a stacked column chart. Now, it's entirely up to you which one you go for. Okay, it's as per your preference and what you think looks better. Okay, but these two are the main popular options for column charts. All right. I'm just going to go for a simple clustered column chart. So that's the example I'm going to go through in detail today. Okay, so I'm just going to select this one. So if you click on OK, once you've selected your chart, it will instantly transfer your data into that column chart and insert it into your spreadsheet like so. So again, you can just move that chart around. Okay. You can hover your mouse over one of the corners of that chart until you see a double white arrow, and then you can just drag it to make it smaller. Okay, or you can make it bigger. Okay, so if you want to make it really big, you could do that as well, like so. Okay, so remember that's the clustered column chart. Okay, so I'm just going to make this a bit more bigger, just so that I can go through the details with you. All right, now in this column chart, as you can see, you've got a chart title, you've got the legend key at the bottom, which tells you what each colored bar represents. Okay, so blue we know is 2021 revenue, and orange we know is 2022 revenue. Now you can change the colors of these bars if you wanted to. Okay, so what you need to do there is if you just click into any of the bars, okay, so I've just selected the orange bars, and then you would go up to the Format tab, and then you would go to the Shape Styles group, and then you would click on the drop-down arrow on the right of Shape Fill. So here you can choose a different color for your orange bars, okay? So I'm just going to go for like a purple color. Okay, so you can literally change them as per your preference. If you wanted to change the other bars, so the blue bars, you would just select one of the blue bars, and this will select the rest of them as well, okay? And then again, you would just go up to the Format tab. You would go to the Shape Styles group, click on the drop down on the right of Shape Fill, and then just select the other color. So I'm just going to go for a gold color there. Okay, so that's one way of changing the colors. If you have, preferred colors that you want to go for, you can do it like that. The alternative way is to do it through chart design. So if you just click into the chart area like so you can just click into any white space in the chart. You would then go up to the chart design tab. So you can access your different styles from here. So you'll have a chart styles group option here, and then you'll have lots of different options for chart styles. But not only that, you will also have an option for different colors. Okay, so these are different options for different color combinations. Okay, so you can access these commands from, from the chart design tab at the top. Or what you could do is you could click on the chart area, and then on the right hand side, you'll see like a brush icon. Okay. If you click on the brush, okay, so it's displayed it on the left for me, you'll see the style. So a load of options for chart styles, different chart styles, and then a load of options for different chart colors. It's exactly the same as this one at the top. Okay, so at the top you have 4 different options. If you just hover your mouse over each one, it will give you a preview of the color scheme on your chart. Okay, so it's just a case of selecting the one that you want. So the first 4 options, okay, are a combination of different colors. And then as you go down, okay, the next set are basically the same color, but different shades of that same color. So this one is blue, this one is orange, okay, this one is gray, this one is like a yellowy color, and blue again, okay? So you can either make your selection from here, okay, or you could do it the way I did it before, where I basically selected the bars, went up to the Format tab, and then went to the drop-down arrow on the right of Shape Fill, and then selected a specific color. So you can then choose the color that you specifically want. Okay. All right. So that's how you would change the colors of the bars. Okay. The next thing is if you click into the chart area, okay, if you go towards the right again, you'll see the green plus icon, the green cross. And if you click on that, this will give you a list of different chart elements which you can add or remove. Okay, so we'll have a look at some of these. So the first one there is axes, okay, which is ticked. So this basically means that where you can see your x-axis, so where you can see these headings, cookies, crackers, bars, these are your axes, okay? And this y-axis here are basically your your revenue figures. So when you tick axes, it means that these figures and these headings, these food categories will appear. If I untick this, it removes my y-axis and my x-axis, okay? So I can't see the headings, okay? So that's up to you if you want them there or not. I'm just going to tick that back again, okay? You can also add axis titles if you want, okay, to specify what your x-axis is for and what your y-axis represents. So if you tick axis titles, it will add basically a text box, okay, at the bottom of your x-axis and then on the left of your y-axis here, okay? So you can see you've got a text box there. So you can literally double click into the text box like so. You can delete that text and then you can just type a title for that axis there. So for example, that one would be food category. Okay, I'm just going to close this format axis title box on the right. Okay, and then you could literally, highlight the text. You can format the text so you can make it bold. You can increase the size of the font. Okay, you can change the font style and so on, and even the font color. Okay, you would do exactly the same with the vertical or the y-axis titles. You just double click into it, and then you just want to then highlight it, delete the existing text, okay, and then put in a title for the vertical axis. So this one is just total revenue. Okay, and again, you can just format the font if you want. Okay, so if you click back on the green cross, I'm just going to untick the axis titles. Okay, and then the third chart element on there is the chart title, which is also ticked. So that's why you can see the chart title text box at the top. So again, if you wanted to rename the title, you would just double click into the chart title, highlight the text, delete what's in there, and then type a new title. Okay, so that would be annual revenue by food category. Okay, so again, I can just select the text box to select all of the text. You can go up to the Home tab. You can format the font so you can make it bold. You can increase the size of the title. Okay, you can even change the font style, change the color of the font if you wanted to. Okay, so if you go back to the green cross again, so chart title is ticked, as you know. If you untick it, all it will do is it will just remove the title if you don't want the title to be there. And the next element is the data labels. Okay, what this will do is, this is at the moment unticked, okay? But when you tick data labels, it basically puts the value, okay, of each bar just above it, okay, like so. And you can select these data labels. Okay, so you can actually select one of them or just select all of them. So you can actually select these data labels and then you can format the font again. So you can, increase the size of the font, make it bold. So again, just go up to the Home tab, go to the font group and just, you can make it bold here. You can increase the font size a little if you wanted to. Okay, and change the font color or the font style if you wanted to. Okay, so that's only done it for the values above the yellow bars, but if you wanted to do the same for the values above the orange ones, you would just select a value above one of the orange bar, like so. This will then select the rest of the values. And then again, you can just format the font in the same way. So I'm just going to make it bold again and just change that to the same font size. Okay, so this is This is how you add data labels to your column charts. Now, because I've got data labels there, that effectively means that I don't really need my vertical axes. Okay, so because I don't need these axes to read the value for each of the bar. Okay, because it's at the top now. So you can, in this instance, you can actually remove these the vertical axes in this instance. So what you would do is to remove it, you would just go to the green cross icon. So you just click on the green cross, and then you want to go to the axes. Okay, click on the forward arrow on the right. Okay, and then you'll have two options. So you have a primary horizontal axis, or you have a primary vertical axis. Now the one that we want to remove is the vertical axis. Okay, so you would just untick that. And there you go. So my vertical axis has now been removed. Okay. All right, just going back to the green cross again. So that was data labels. There's also an option to add a data table. So that's currently unticked, but if you tick that, what that will do is it will just add, okay, a table at the bottom of your column chart, like so, and it will just input all of the values for you, okay, for each legend, okay, or for each bar. Now, you may want this, you may not. It really depends on how easy it is to read the data on your column chart. Okay, I'm going to untick it because having the values just above the bars is more than enough for me there. So I don't really need a data table showing me those values at the bottom. Okay, so that's what a data table effectively does. Grid lines, okay, grid lines will basically, so if you see, can you see these gray lines here? Okay, if you untick grid lines, it will just remove those gray lines. Okay, so it will give you a white background, basically. Okay. Grid lines are usually best if you've got like a vertical axis and you're trying to, read the values for each of your bars. But if you've added data labels onto your chart, then you don't really need grid lines then in that case. There is also a chart element called legend. So legend is basically placed at the bottom. Okay, so your legend will tell you what what the colors of your bars or your columns represent. So here it's telling me orange is 2021 revenue and the yellow ones are 2022 revenue. Okay, but if you hover your mouse over legend and then just click on the arrow on the right, you can actually decide and position your legend in a different place. So you have an option to put it towards the right of the chart. You can put it right at the top. You can put it towards the left, or you can just leave it at the bottom there, okay, which is already done by default. Okay. Okay, so that's basically it for, editing your column charts and for adding elements and removing elements. Just one last thing, which is the filter. Okay, you've got a filter available when you click on the chart area, which will allow you to filter your column chart based on different categories. So what you'll see here is you'll see your legends listed, okay, and your food categories listed here, okay. So you can actually filter it. So if you only wanted to see, for example, 2022 data, you could, untick all and just select 2022. Okay. And of course, you'll need to make sure that you click apply. So if you click apply, that will then apply the filter to your chart. So you can now see that on the chart, I am only seeing data for 2022 revenue based on the filter. Okay. Now, if I select all and click apply again, okay, now I can see everything. Okay, so this is an unfiltered view. Even with categories, you can select specific categories you may want to see. So for example, say I didn't want to see any data for bars or snacks. I just wanted to see cookies and crackers. Okay, you would select the two you want to see, click apply, and there you go. So now I can only see the data for two food categories, which is cookies and crackers. Okay, so the filter option is quite good. If you only wanted to, see specific data on your chart, so you can use that. Okay, so I'm just going to select all again just to take it back to the original view and click apply. Okay, so that's it in terms of, column clustered charts and editing your chart and the elements and changing the colors of your columns and filtering your data on your column chart. Now, one last thing that I wanted to show you before we finish off this video is bar charts, okay, which is basically exactly the same as this column chart. The only difference is that these columns that you see here, okay, these rectangles, instead of them being positioned vertically, like they're done in this column chart, in a bar chart, they are positioned horizontally. Okay, so let me show you how that works. So to create a bar chart, you would of course need to select the data. You would go up to the Insert tab. You would then go to the column chart option. Okay, so you're again going to the charts group and then clicking on the drop down on the right of column chart. And you can actually select a 2D bar chart from here. You don't need to go into more column charts. So what you would do is if you go to the third option, 2D bar, okay, now you've got an option of a clustered bar chart or a stacked bar chart. So remember, stacked basically means when both of the bars, okay, are stacked on top of each other. So I'm going to just show you a clustered bar chart. Okay, so this is what a clustered bar chart looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to resize that a little. Okay, so let's just put that underneath there to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is a clustered bar chart. So can you see the difference between a clustered column chart? Okay, so this is our clustered column chart, and this one is our clustered bar chart. So it's just these columns that have been, turned 90 degrees. Okay, so they're being represented as bars. So that's the only difference. Again, it depends entirely on your preference. What do you prefer to use? And maybe, you can try both out and see which one looks better for your data. Okay, but changing the colors of the bars, changing the chart elements, or even filtering that chart is exactly the same as we went through for your for the clustered column chart. Okay, so it's exactly the same. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope this has helped. If it has, please do like and share the video so that it can reach out to more people. And do consider subscribing because I will be posting more content on a daily basis. So okay, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.